Happy Halloween, everyone. The spookiest holiday of the year is here. Say Happy Halloween. Snickers, it's your shining moment. Say Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween from a true black cat. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm a therapist in Long Island, New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders, eating issues, and body image issues. If you're interested in learning more about eating disorders, eating issues, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, and therapeutic tools that can help, please subscribe to my channel. I think you'll find it really helpful. If you like this video at the end, please give it a thumbs up. Today I wanted to talk more about how we're going to get through the Halloween day. So it's Halloween, as we all know, usually is a kickstart to the holiday season, which does cause a lot of distress for people with eating disorders or eating issues. But today I'm going to focus more on Halloween, the day itself. Yes, it's the scariest holiday for reasons other than witches and ghouls and goblins and all that type of stuff. For someone who's struggling with an eating disorder or an eating issue, it can be really scary because there's a lot of different reasons for that. Let's just talk about common sense for a second. Most of us have bowls of candy right by our front door, and we're waiting by the door for children to come up and trick-or-treat to give the candy away. Now, I don't know of anyone who actually has had that bowl and for the entire day never hacked into it themselves and never stole a whole piece of candy, at least one piece of candy throughout the day. So this becomes very overwhelming and very anxiety provoking for someone struggling with an eating disorder. So here are a few tips that can help you get through the day on Halloween that will be the least scary for you. So number one, let's talk about not altering our normal eating patterns. So sometimes what people think is that the best thing to do is to accommodate and compensate for the candy that they anticipate having that day or another day. So what I say is don't try to compensate, don't try to accommodate the candy into your eating. It's okay, it's one day or maybe a few days of you eating candy, and it's okay, and it's not going to all of a sudden make you fat by having some more candy than you normally would over the course of a couple days. So let's talk about this a little bit more. When people sometimes with eating disorders struggle with the idea of having a bowl of candy, that's usually people's weak spot, right? When we try to think about that type of concept, we are like, okay, how are we going to plan on accordingly? So how are we going to plan accordingly so that we can have the candy that we want without getting fat or gaining weight, right? So as I said, do not accommodate your normal eating. So some people may decide that, okay, because I'm going to have candy and I know I'm going to have candy, I'm going to skip lunch. That doesn't work very well. And what ends up happening is that you'll more than likely have way more candy than you anticipate because you're hungry and you're not really getting what you need, and it's also throwing you off. So that will backfire on you more than likely. So again, do not accommodate or do not change your normal eating patterns. If you feel that you're going to have some candy and maybe you want to replace a snack that you normally have, okay. But be very careful with that, making sure that it's an even exchange especially if you're on a meal plan. But even so, even if you don't do that, it's absolutely okay. All right, number two, do not compensate. So again, with people who are struggling with eating or eating disorders, sometimes what it justifies them eating candy or justifies them doing a certain thing is to compensate. So that may look like, as I talked about before, accommodating your meal plan or accommodating your eating to fit that. But sometimes what it looks like is, okay, if I eat this candy today, tomorrow I can't have any snacks. Or if I eat this candy today, I have to make sure that I wake up early tomorrow to work out for at least an hour high intensity training, or I'm going to, get fat. And that's the only way I could justify it today. Or I can only have this candy, or I can have this candy because I worked out earlier today. I worked out for an extra 20 minutes, so it's going to be okay. Do not do that. That's just going to perpetuate the eating issues and the unhealthy relationship with food that you have. So just candy is candy. It's totally okay. You can have it. You don't have to compensate for it. It's okay. As I had spoken about in a recent video or a video to come, labeling foods is not a really good habit to get into. And let me explain that more in number 3. Do not judge yourself by having candy because candy is bad. Candy is not bad. Candy is candy, and that's just it. There's nothing innately good. There's nothing innately bad about candy, or any type of food for that matter. So there's no reason to judge yourself. Avoid judgment, okay? Because what is it going to get you? Candy is something you can enjoy. It's something tasty, and it's something that just could be a nice experience for you, and we can move on. Tip number 4, allow yourself to have the candy. Even if you physically have to say out loud, I give myself permission to eat this candy, do it. Because there's really no reason that you have to judge yourself or restrict yourself from having it. And sometimes when you do have it, then you start to judge yourself and thinking that you have no willpower, or you're a bad person, or you're going to be fat forever, or you're going to get fat, or whatever the other thought processes that you're having is or are. It's just, again, like I said, it's just candy. Candy is candy. There's nothing good or bad innately about it. So just allow yourself to have it. Because when you start restricting yourself, of course, as we talked about it, more than likely you're going to end up overdoing it, and you're not going to feel very good about that mentally or physically. So when we restrict ourselves, and I'll link a video in the description below to talk more about it, and I'll also leave a link in one of these sides for that video. Restricting yourself basically means you're giving that food or giving that item more power. And when you give that item more power, it's more tempting. It's more likely that you're going to overdo it, just because it's all or nothing. It's restricting it or going crazy over it. But if you allow yourself to have it, you can have it, and you probably will be very pleased with the results if you can separate the eating disorder thoughts from that you can enjoy it without it being a whole meltdown. Now, tip number 5, enjoy it. Simple as that. You already decided that you're eating the candy and you're eating it. Why should you think during that process, oh my gosh, this is so bad, this is going to make me fat? That will only take away from the enjoyment that you're having. And then again, what's the purpose of even having it? So if you're going to have it, know that this is what you're doing. Okay, you're allowing yourself to have it. Why not enjoy it? Because this is what's happening right now. And number 6, and the final tip for today, is forgive yourself and move on. Even if you did exactly what you had anticipated by having moderate amounts of candy, if you overdid it or you didn't have it at all because of maybe the eating disorder had gotten in the way, it happened. You could forgive yourself and you can move on. There's absolutely nothing to gain by beating yourself up over it, and hopefully you enjoyed it if you did engage in it. But regardless, failures, in what people perceive as failures, are always learning opportunities. So what happened in that event that you can learn from and take with you? Because there's always something that we can take with us from every experience that we have. So with all that said, I really hope that guide was helpful for you and giving you some tips on how to cope with Halloween anxiety and everything that comes with Halloween. I hope that you could truly set aside the eating issues and eating disorder and all those thoughts that you have to really just enjoy the holiday. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be spooky in ways that aren't related to food. So I hope you have a really fun, spooky, and awesome Halloween. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in learning more about eating disorders, eating issues, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, and therapeutic tools, please subscribe to my channel. I'll really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below about what is your favorite candy. And also, if you're interested in learning more about eating disorders and such, I have a blog. You feel free to check it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And I really hope you have a great day and an awesome Halloween. I will see you in my next video. Bye.